Thank you. Okay, there's a line in that song that I just love, and it's this. It's the line, I won't hold on to what I think I know. How many of you are guilty of thinking you know? Well, just stop there. How many of you are guilty of thinking you know and then holding on to it no matter what? Yeah, we all are in some time in our lives or other. People think that's a young thing. That's like the youth. You know, they all think they know what they're doing and they don't want to hear about it. I think we carry that into our adult lives. I mean, I certainly find it in the youth of today. But oh, my son just cocked me like ugh. Yeah. So I would like to ask you to disabuse yourself this morning of thinking you know it all. Can you do that? Who said no? Cherry. So, other than Cherry, I would like you all to literally decide right now to not know what you think you know. Because if you don't know what you think you know, you may actually know something else instead. And I have a saying, which is that I know nothing. Now what can I know? Just emptying my mind. Because that's what this month is all about. Possibilities. How can you give over to possibilities if you think you already have it? That you already have all of the answers. Now, obviously, metaphysically, you do have all of the answers. You have everything you could ever possibly want. The fact that possibilities is even brought up almost sounds in opposition to teaching that you already have it all. So you're not possible, you are absolutely definite. However, we're talking about the world of the relative, the world you want to create, the experiences you want to have. How many people here want a better experience of life? How many people here they have a great experience of life, they just like to expand it a little bit? All of us, right? How many people want more? Right, everybody just say that, more. We all sound like babies, right? More. Yeah. But we do, it's who we are. So anything is possible. So that's the title of the song. Possibility begins right here and right now. So anything is possible. So why doesn't it feel like it is? Why in your life are there moments, and my life, why are there moments where it just doesn't feel possible? And that we create ceilings to our lives. Why is that? I've been pondering that all week as I have been watching deadline after deadline go by of when my home was supposed to be finished, its renovation, and I keep hearing, oh, it's almost there, and I'm like, it's been a very long week, and I've been pondering this whole idea. Is this me? What do we teach? If you are experiencing it, you're equal to it. So I am equal to my house constantly being in a state of disarray. Constantly. And just when I'm a cleaner. I like cleanliness. I like orderly households. And so I will go in and clean the whole thing just in time for them to decide to put holes in the cement of the pool, at which point everything has a little bit of dust. So that's challenging. So for me to say to myself, is it possible that this house is ever going to be finished? Well, I know that someday it's going to be finished. I'd like it to happen this year. It was supposed to be by August. So the question is, where do you go when you say, yes, I know that anything is possible, so why don't I believe it? Why don't I believe this is possible, this one particular thing? Well, there's a great quote in the Bhagavad Gita, and it's this: we shall never arrive at peace while we are dealing with a pair of opposites. We shall never arrive at peace while we are dealing with a pair of opposites. So, why doesn't it feel possible? Because we're dealing with a pair of opposites. There's what we say is possible. We get to hear Heather sing. We're all on board. We're singing it ourselves. Anything is possible. But then we allow ourselves to flirt with, but what if it isn't? But what if this won't happen? What if this isn't for me? What if I'm not going to equal it? The Bhagavad Gita gets it exactly right. We are flirting with a set of opposites. So last week, we had our Peace March, and it was so beautiful. And I was going to be speaking at the end of the Peace March. And the whole time we would stop at each church and listen to the speakers. I'm literally sitting there. First of all the speakers, almost all of the speakers came beautifully attired and dressed with collars and robes. And I was in jogging shorts and a really tight sun shirt and a baseball cap. And at one point, Kevin said to me, just take the cap off. I took it off. He said, put it back on. And he was like, didn't you know that everyone was going to look like this? I went, I kind of thought they would, but for a 2-mile hike, I can't dress up and walk for 2 miles, so I'm just going to be cool with this. And I was like, I'm fine. I'm at the end. By then, they'll be bleary-eyed and tired. They won't even know. They won't even be able to see me through their blurry eyes. So, but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part for me was, and please know I am not judgmental about this at all. I really am not. When I listened to a lot of the speakers, I was hearing a lot of negativity and a lot of them and us. And I was hearing immense duality. You know, we have to get in there. We got to fight this. We got to fight this. Fight hate. Fight. And I knew that my message was the exact opposite, but people seemed to be very excited about this fighting thing. And so Kevin had said to me, he said, at one point, after one of the stops we're walking, Kevin went, you do know what you're saying, right? Because they all prepared speeches. I haven't seen you prepare anything. And I was like, are you really worried that I'm going to get up and not be prepared? He went, yes. So I was like, well, I do know what I'm going to say. I just don't know how it's going to go over because it's going to be very different from everybody else. So I get to the last place and I go to where the speakers are sitting and they're all looking really good. And I walked up and the person said, can I help you? I said, I'm in the seat. She goes, I'll sit in that seat. And she goes, that's for the speakers. And I was like, I am one of the speakers. And she literally did this. She went, okay. I was like, okay, this is not how I expected it to be. So, as I can say, as luck would have it, but no, as life unfolds perfectly, who speaks before me but a youth? An amazing young girl who was so loving and so beautiful and so powerful. And it was funny because when she stopped speaking, when she finished, everybody was applauding and screaming. And the woman said, well, okay, who's going to follow that? And I'm thinking, exactly. And so I got up. And I just read them Ernest Holmes. And I just said, show me someone who is for something and against nothing, and I will show you another Jesus, another Buddha, another Muhammad, another Martin Luther King, fill in the blank. Against nothing. We don't have the luxury to be against what we're all seeming to be against. We can only be for love. And it was received very well. It was received very well. So, yeah. Apparently, it wasn't about the messenger or his outfit. It was about the message. So it was received very well. And right after the speeches and we were done, everyone was going to eat dinner, someone came up to me and asked me if I would be interested in joining politics, stepping into politics. So here's where I talk about possibilities. So this is how my mind works. That was around 5 o'clock. By the time I went to bed, I was the president of the United States. Yeah. I went from the small talk at the Peace March to mayor of Los Angeles to governor of California to the president of the United States with Kevin as the first gentleman. So we're walking the dogs the next day, and I'm telling Kevin this. He went, only you can go from a 2-minute talk. He said, you know, it was 2 minutes. I said, I know. 2-minute talk to President of the United States. So I bring this up not just to show you how my mind works, but to mention that I knew that was impossible. Well, Kevin also reminded me by the time I could actually do all of that, I'd be 90. And he said, you know, I don't think that's going to happen. But I had to start asking myself, if I wanted to be president of the United States, could I start right now and become president of the United States? Apparently, it doesn't take a lot of, you know, I am not political. I love everyone. But I mean, I will say one thing. Donald Trump did prove you don't have to have been in politics to become president of the United States. He has opened the door for anyone to be president. So why not me? This is, by the way, my announcement. No. Oh my God. I have a whole talk to give. Anyway, no, because you're going to run my campaign. So anyway, the point is, because that was a big one for me, and I was like, wow, I really do have a ceiling. I don't think I could do this. And I'm not going to challenge myself to see how far I could get. I really don't want to be the mayor of Los Angeles. I just want to be the spiritual director here, truly, and then see where this takes us all. But there was a limit there. I was like, okay, that seems impossible. But everything's possible. So what was I thinking of? I was doing exactly what the Bhagavad Gita said. We shall never arrive anywhere while we are dealing with a pair of opposites. I was dealing with I'm too old. I'm not in politics. I should have started sooner. Do you really want to live in Washington, D.C.? All those, now that's actually a choice. The rest of it's I can't do anything about those things. So when you're thinking about your life and the possibilities, you have your reasons why some things are not possible. But is that the truth? So, Ernest Holmes says this: within us is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it. Within us is the unborn, possibility of limitless experience. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it. So the title of my talk is How High is High? And I'm not talking about other things. How high is high for you? How high can you reach? How high do you reach? The affirmation I gave to the Tuesday night class was, I will reach beyond my limit, I will stretch beyond my reach. Thank you, Joyce. I will stretch beyond my reach. How high is your reach? Is there a limit to it? Oh, there it is, Mount Everest. Thank you so much. How many of you have thought to climb Mount Everest? Has anyone here climbed Mount Everest? Did you? Oh, the base camp. How many of you let me ask this. How many people want to climb to the top of Mount Everest? No one in this room. Okay, Alex does. Oh, you do too, Mark? Okay, you do too. What is your name? Stand up, please. What is your name? Ethan. So tell everybody, I want to climb Mount Everest. I want to climb Mount Everest. And do you think it's possible? It's been done before. But do you think it's possible for you to do it? Okay, I think you could do it right now, probably. Okay. So, thank you, Ethan. So what is your Mount Everest? What's the thing that for some reason, your age, your body type, your whatever, the family you were born in, your money, your status, whatever it is, where is your Mount Everest, and what is it that's stopping you? What is the dualistic other thing you are engaging, that you're courting? You know, we're in day 17, I think it is, of BODS, and I am just astounded by the people in that program. We had there's a level 2 to it, and yesterday we had our webinar, and the honesty and the clarity and the tears and the aha moments that were on that webinar yesterday, I did nothing. I just sat and listened. It was spectacular. And the people sharing, they're losing weight, but mostly not about the weight. It's, I am losing the restrictions to who I know myself to be. And that's what this is about. So Ernest Holmes also says this: the universal mind contains all knowledge. The universal mind contains all knowledge. Now, before I go on, you do realize that you are the universal mind. The universal mind isn't this big repository of everything and it's funneled down into this tiny little thing, and now you have tiny little bit of it. That's not how it works. As Rumi says, you are the entire ocean in a drop. So you are the universal mind. So Ernest Holmes says the universal mind contains all knowledge. It is the potential ultimate of all things. I love those two words together. The potential ultimate of all things. To it, all things are possible. To it, all things are possible. Well, if to it, all things are possible, then to you, because Jeffrey, you are it. You are it. You know that, right? I know you know it. That's why I pointed to you. You are it. So to you, everything's possible. So that says to me, when I think something's impossible, I have forgotten who I am. I forget that I'm it. And I have also started to contemplate opposites. I'm not just it. I'm it who kind of has this going on and has this going on, and then there's this, and I'm getting crippled. That's how it works. So, anything is possible. How? How is anything possible? By getting rid of every single opposite in your mind. Are you up to that task? Yes. It's a big task. It means you can no longer kvetch with your best friend. You can no longer complain about anything in your life. Where are the complainers? No, just kidding. You can no longer complain about anything in your life. And you can no longer entertain an idea that has an opposite to it that will hold you back. These are big orders. These are tall orders. And yet they're possible. They're not only possible, it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. So I have two teenagers. They're both here. One of them sitting right there. The other one's behind that camera. They're both 18. They're both planning on going to college. And I thought deeply about this as I thought I was going to talk about it today. I'll talk about it very shortly. But I listened to them, and both of them, calling you out here, both of them have moments when they say, that college is an impossibility for me. Now, here's the deal. Is Harvard an impossibility for someone who has a grade lower than what Harvard accepts? No, but it seems to be. This is an impossibility because they only want this type of student. Is it? No. I am watching them plan their life, and they, by the way, have amazing choices, and I'm happy with every choice they've made. But I'm listening to a lot of their friends, and I'll talk about, I'm going to have to just go to community college and wait to see if I can get my grades up. So now you may say to yourself, well, if a child ends up with a 2.1, how do you expect him to get into Harvard? Is it possible for that child to get into Harvard? Well, the answer is absolutely 100% yes, if they could turn time back and go back and get better grades. Now, I'm saying this for a reason. Anything is possible, but the way you use your mind limits the possibility to your level. That's how it works. So, standing here, I probably will not be the President of the United States, although I'm leaving the door open. But I probably will not be, because leading up to this point, it wasn't in the forefront of my mind to do. So I'm okay with that. Do I believe it could still happen? Do I believe that if I put 100% of my time, talent, and treasure into becoming the President of the United States, I could be? I would have to get better at geography and at least know where some of these countries are. Could I do that? Yes. Yes. Anything is possible. You're the limitation. Every mind in this room is the limitation. You have brought your mind to where it is right now. But here's the best news in the world. Right now, in this moment, you can turn course, change it, decide no more living up to a level of myself that I think is okay. Emily Dickinson said, I dwell in possibility. Think about that. Couldn't we all say that? I dwell in possibility. I mean, think about that. I live this thing called possibility. And well, you can say that too. I was saying it for me, but that's good. So Thomas Edison said this: if we all did the things we were capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. I get tears when I think about this. If we all did the things we were capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. That's who you are. There is nothing stopping you from being anything you want to be, doing anything you want to do, going anywhere you want to go, accomplishing anything you want to accomplish. It all starts with you knowing you are universal mind. and that whatever you decide to do with that mind, you get to receive, you get to live, you get to experience, provided you do not entertain its opposite. There's our work. There's our job. Let's remember who we are. Let's get rid of all of the opposites, and let's go out there and prove this science, prove that all I need to do is know who I am, aim my sights, and then experience in a magnificent life. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.